So put your squishy hero in the 5th position, use a little bit of magic damage, Celeste in dark mode.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in this video series for Hero Wars Facebook and web, we're going to discuss how to counter specific heroes so that you can learn how to defeat the puzzle that is the enemy's defense. And we're going to take, for example, rank 1 defense on my Facebook server 25, Savage Dynamis. Got an interesting dodge monkey team here. I'm actually a big fan of this kind of setup. You have Dante, Nebula, Heidi, Leon, and Dorium. Now, there's a couple issues with this. Since I'm not actually anywhere near rank 1 myself, you can see that I'm rank 166. I don't quite see what pets he has, so I have to make some guesses, and I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong when I make some guesses, but the point of this series is to kind of discuss the important heroes in this defending team, the ones that you need to pay attention to in order to counter them, and we'll continue this as we go. We'll throw in a couple of different meta teams. I can't cover every single team. I can only do a few teams at a time, otherwise this video will end up being an hour long, but I'll talk to you a little bit about some design choices, what things you can do for your team in order to make your team effective in a team like this. And if you have any specific teams that you'd like to see me throw against teams like this, let me know in the comment section down below. In future videos, I will try them out. Now, with a Dante tank team, there's a couple of things that you need to consider. First of all, high dodge team here. You have 3 dodge heroes up front in Dante, Nebula, and Heidi. So Dante is going to be using his ult quite a bit. He does high physical damage to the front 4 heroes. Okay, very weak to magic damage. In fact, most dodge heroes kind of fall over to magic damage, and these 3 are no exception. And I kind of wanted to start with the newest hero, so I tried around a couple of different ideas, and I landed on this one right here. This setup is pushing Iris to the very back. Now, the reason why I did that is Iris doesn't have any skins. She doesn't have any health skins, armor, or any other kind of skins aside from her standard default skin. So her health is going to be overall lower than just about every other hero in the game. She's not a strength-based hero. She's a mage hero without a health or armor skin. Very, very squishy. So if she is hit by Dante, she's going to get one shot. So because of that, I pushed her to the back. Now, I'm not saying that this is the absolute best team to build against this specific Dante team, but I like the use of Jorgen to kind of slow down the energy gain, although you can see ultimately it doesn't matter at all. I also used Ching Mao to kind of stack armor penetration for Iris's abilities, and I used a thick boy tank healer up front in Marcus because I don't use Marcus nearly enough. Like I said, I probably could find other ways to defeat this team than using this, but the main idea to countering this specific Dante team is you got to kill that Dante before he kills you. Use magic damage to bring him down and protect your squishies. All right, if you have any heroes on your team that are relatively squishy, like my Iris, push them to the back as far as you can. Maybe throw Axel on them if you can. Unfortunately, you can't use Axel on Iris, but at this point, it's just kind of mopping things up. And I'll show you what we've got here. We used Albus as the pet. You could use Sebastian against this team. In fact, you're going to see Sebastian used against this team quite a bit, although I didn't think it was necessary. It's possible that just using Sebastian instead of Jorgen would have been a better idea here. I used Kane on Xing Mao, try to get her charged up faster so that her armor penetration artifact would work, so that Iris's various physical damage attacks would be more effective. Marcus, of course, is my pseudo tank healer, able to survive Dante's hits just fine. Strong area of effect healing. Jorgen, bonus magic damage, bonus magic attack. There are no magic penetration artifact weapon heroes here, so Iris's ultimate really wasn't going to be boosted up that much, but that's okay. And then finally, I just used Nebula for a little bit of bonus heal. I'm not really sure if these 4 heroes are the best to use with Iris against any team at all. The main point of this fight is to push Iris to the back. We also used a twins lineup. This is the stereotypical twins, Aurora, Celeste, Sebastian. This is the Trinity or whatever you want to call it. This is pretty straightforward. Aurora is kind of a nice counter to Dante. If you can afford Aurora up front and a couple of really strong heroes to go with it. In this instance, I believe that I used Axel on Celeste in order to keep her alive. You can see I have 2 squishy heroes on this team between Celeste and Lars. Lars is in the back. There's no danger of protecting Lars because there's no enemy Zhu, there's no enemy Jorgen. So all I really needed to do was throw Axel on Celeste, and should be a pretty easy fight. Taking a look at the stats. Yeah, I put Axel on Celeste to keep her alive. I used Merlin on Krista, Mara on Lars, Kane on Aurora for offense, tons and tons and tons of physical attack here. And then Sebastian, of course. Sebastian's just a great hero option in general. But in a team like this, in the Twins, you really have Sebastian to protect your team from debuffs. You have Leon's charm effect that's a debuff, and that's enough to slow you down. You could probably drop Sebastian here for just about any other hero and probably be just fine. these 4 are probably more than enough to take care of this lineup. Although, like I said, keeping your squishy heroes protected by putting him in the 5th position is probably the most ideal situation. Another lineup that I wanted to try out was a Kark lineup. Again, I just threw in Aurora. Astaroth probably would have worked, but that might have put too much stress on Celeste to keep him alive. Kai has enough vampirism that even though he is a squishy hero, he can handle it. This lineup I think is a little better than the Faceless version because of how many enemy heroes are so weak to magic damage. Faceless does do magic damage, Faceless does do the pop-up, but I think with the addition of Kai's recent skin and Kai's Ascension skill upgrades, he's now the better choice for Kark teams. Very straightforward win. This is very likely due to the Aurora handling some of those hits up front, but Dante hits 4 heroes, keeping the Kark alive with some clutch heals from Celeste. Kai's got his own massive vampirism, like I said. The squishiest hero in this entire lineup, Celeste, has got Axel to keep her alive, and then the next squishiest hero is probably Sebastian, and he's in the back, so ended up not mattering. Sebastian, again, probably was the most opportune hero to swap out in this lineup. Again, protecting your team from various debuffs, sure. However, he is there to boost the damage output a little bit and, to protect your team versus those Leon charms. Nice, solid win there. The last team that I wanted to really try before I quit for the day was a Yasmine team here. I chose Corvus Morgan, Astaroth, Yasmine, Sebastian. An extra tank up there just to push Sebastian to the back further. In this case, Sebastian is more helpful because he's boosting all this crit damage output. You've got Morgan providing armor penetration for the entire team. It's possible that this fight could have gone either way. You can see Yasmine attacking that Dante. It's possible that he could have just dodged every single one of her hits. You often see that happening with Aurora. If you hit Aurora, she just dodges all of Yasmine's attacks. But I got lucky there. Often is the case that Nebula is a fantastic counter against Corvus tanks as well, but I'm able to overcome her. And then at this point, it's just over with. I think the main issue with this defending team with the undead here is the sheer volume of area of effect damage that this team does. Corvus is going to be very effective against all of this area of effect attacks. Dante hits multiple targets. Heidi hits multiple targets. Leon, Dorian, they all hit. Nebula even, they all hit multiple targets. Going to be kind of weak to Corvus, but it's also possible that any double tank lineup is going to be really effective against this team as well. Generally speaking, like I said, put your squishy heroes as far back as possible. The 5th position really is the ideal situation to protect you from this Dante. This Dante is really the most powerful enemy hero on that team. Really the main one you got to worry about. The rest of them are strong heroes, sure. You got to pay attention to them, absolutely sure. But Dante in the 1st position means that this player, Savage Dynamis, is basically hoping that Dante takes care of the entire line for you, that does all the damage for you. A Nebula boosted Dante should be enough to crush most teams before you even know it hit you. So put your squishy hero in the 5th position, use a little bit of magic damage. Celeste in dark mode. Satori could work if you could protect him somehow. Just magic damage really is the downfall of this team. And then aside from that, it's just staying alive long enough to let your team do its work. Like I said, guys, if you want me to try out any other team, maybe a Kira team, maybe an Ishmael team, maybe a Ginger Isaac team, any other teams you'd like me to try out in future videos like this, please let me know in the comment section down below. We'll absolutely try them out. I'm really kind of enjoying this. I think we might try some Martha teams since she is the hero of the month this month. But that's for another video. We live stream every day, Monday through Friday. Schedule is on screen now. We talk about Hero Wars Facebook and web. We talk about Hero Wars mobile. We talk about life. We talk about puppies. Come join us. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.